Hello and welcome back, and today we've got another video for fans of superhero toys. Hot on the heels of Hasbro's X-Men '97 release, we have the brand new wave of Super Powers toys from McFarlane. And this looks to be a very exciting wave. First up, we have Batman and Robin. This is the second Batman to be released by McFarlane in the Super Powers line. And he is in his classic blue and gray uniform as he wore in the 1970s and 80s. This uniform is familiar to those of us who read the comics during that time when he was drawn by such artists as Neil Adams, Marshall Rogers, Jim Aparo, and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And on television, he starred in both Hanna-Barbera's Super Friends and Filmation's The New Adventures of Batman. The Robin in this wave is the third young man to take the mantle of Robin, Tim Drake. And this uniform is very similar to how he appeared in comics in the 1990s. And the big vehicle of this wave is the Batmobile. Done in a classic style, but very different from the original Kenner Super Powers Batmobile. On the back of the cards, we get a cross-sell of all the figures that have been released so far in McFarlane's Super Powers line. And we are up to 14 figures, although 2 of them are duplicate characters in different costumes. We also get the bio cards in 3 different languages, and unfortunately some of them do have this sticker stuck on them. I think we saw that in the last Super Powers video I did as well. Some have it, some don't. And on the back of the Batmobile box, we get a look at the action features. Next up in this wave is a repaint of the first release of Wonder Woman. It's the same figure, done in a different color scheme, to more closely resemble her classic Silver and Bronze Age costume. And the smaller vehicle in this wave is Wonder Woman's invisible jet. And I know a lot of collectors have been excited for this vehicle because this is something that was never released in the original Kenner line. In fact, the last mass market retail action figure line to release an invisible jet was Mego's Comic Action Heroes line back in the late 1970s. Card back and rear of the box for these. Wonder Woman does have that annoying sticker on the back of her card. And on the back of the invisible jet box, we can see that it does have an action feature, that being a capture claw. Rounding out this wave, we have arch enemies Aquaman and Black Manta. Aquaman is a more modern take on the character with his classic costume, but with his long hair as he's been seen in modern comics as well as feature films. But Black Manta does have his classic look in a very animated style, which reminds me of how he looked in the old Challenge of the Super Friends cartoon. Black Manta is not only the lone villain in this wave, but he is unfortunately also a Walmart exclusive. And the card backs for Aquaman and Black Manta. Arguably the most anticipated figure in this wave is this Detective Batman, clad in his classic Silver and Bronze Age gray and blue outfit with the yellow utility belt and the bat symbol in the yellow oval. And they've also added the black on his cowl with the blue eyebrows. And I am happy to report that the capes are much improved in this wave. As we recall from the first wave, the capes on the Superman and Batman were made of a very ribbony material. It wasn't actual fabric. And there was a clothing tag that was attaching the capes to the inner blisters, which left a hole in the capes. So 2 improvements with this wave. One is that this is an actual fabric cape. This is very similar to the type of fabric that Kenner used in the original Super Powers line. The points on the cape are a little bit curled, but I'm sure that can be fixed with maybe a flat iron on low setting. It doesn't bother me that much. And you can also see there is no hole in this cape. The way that they're doing the capes now, the figures with capes in this wave are packaged in this new 2-part inner blister. So the cape fits through a slot in the back and it drapes into this secondary blister where it can be displayed on the card. So there's no need to poke a hole in it or tape it down or anything like that. So credit where credit is due. Todd listened to the complaints about the capes in the first wave, and he did make the improvements. Articulation remains the same on this wave, so nothing really new to report there. The joints are solid. They are not frozen on this figure. They move easily, and they do stay in place. This will probably be my favorite figure from this wave. This is an excellent looking figure. We get our first version of Robin in this new Super Powers line, and this is Tim Drake. Robin number 3 in the comics. Like Batman, he does have a real fabric cape, and this costume is very close to what he wore in comics in the 1990s. So it's a variation of the original Robin costume. And I think that costume may have also taken some cues from the Earth 2 version of Robin, replacing the green short shorts with some full leg coverings. He also has some black boots and the arm guards that are sculpted into the gloves. It was a nice update to the original Robin costume, making it a little more grown up, but still keeping that flavor of the circus acrobat outfit that Dick Grayson wore. And we can see the R symbol on his tunic, applied very cleanly in that 1990s style. The larger vehicle in this wave, the Batmobile. And I'm very glad we got a classic looking Batmobile in this new Super Powers line. A different design than the old Kenner Batmobile, which is nice. We know the Batmobile has changed many times over the years, so it's not out of the ordinary for Batman to have several different models. We can see the bat symbols on the wheels, sculpted into the wheel covers, the classic yellow oval symbol on the side, bat face symbol on the front, and of course the bat wing foils on the back. All the classic elements in a new design, which is really nice. We have 2 action features on this new Batmobile. The first is a front battering ram, activated by pushing down that symbol. And with that ram, you can take the bad guy's feet right out from under them. Take that, Manta. The next is a turbo booster in the back, which is activated by pulling up this piece, and it pops out automatically on a spring to give the Batmobile a little extra boost. Other than the bat symbol on the side, we get some white paint inside the bat head on the hood, some paint apps to represent some headlights, and we've got some stickers in the back for the tail lights and the exhaust. This is a really great looking Batmobile, and it seems to be very well constructed. So definitely worth tracking this down and picking one up. Next we have the repaint of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a straight repaint of the figure that was previously released in Wave 2. There's not a huge amount of difference on the coloring, but this one does make her look more like a Silver and Bronze Age Wonder Woman. In the first release, the yellow parts were gold, and there was also gold trim on the red boots. Now we have more of a yellow and a white on the boots. The bracelets on the last one were silver. These are obviously dark blue. And the red on her bustier and the blue on her shorts are lighter in color than the previous release. Also, a little bit of detail added since the last release. The star on her tiara has now been painted red. In the previous release, it was not painted. And of course, this release gives you the nice cloth cape in a light blue. The previous version had a red cape done in that ribbon material. So this is a better cape for her. The smaller vehicle in this wave is the Invisible Jet. And as I said previously, the last time we got an Invisible Jet in a full toy line was way back during the Mego days with the comic action heroes. There have been other Invisible Jets made since then. Funko did a couple of one-offs for their Pop line and also a small version for the DC Collectors Club. And now we have this one in the new Super Powers line. This is a very compact design, much like the Batwing from the first wave. We do have another spring open canopy. By pressing the symbol on the front, we can open that up. I know some people reported a problem with that first series Batwing. When they sprung open the canopy, the piece that connected it to the hinge would crack and break. So hopefully this canopy is made of a bit stronger material. It does feel good though. Obviously it's all acrylic plastic to give it the translucent look. And inside we can see a little control stick with the Wonder Woman symbol. So that's a nice touch. It doesn't move. It's just there for decorative purposes. And you can see this little spring-loaded winch inside the jet, which is part of its action feature. It does have a capture claw underneath. This line is attached to a spring, and the tail fin is the trigger mechanism. So once you've got the claw on your villain, press the tail fin, and you've captured your bad guy. The Invisible Jet doesn't get as much attention as things like the Batmobile, but it is an iconic vehicle in the DC universe, and I'm happy that they created this new version for Super Powers. Rounding out this wave are the two arch enemies, Black Manta and Aquaman. Let's look at Manta first. The, unfortunately, Walmart exclusive figure. Hopefully, he will be widely available for anyone that wants him. He's done in dark blue, with a lighter blue for his helmet, his yellow eyes. He doesn't come with any weapons, but traditionally he can shoot lasers out of the eyes of his helmet. He also has a backpack that I believe serves the dual purpose of powering his helmet and providing him with breathable air for when he's under the water. Todd's been sticking with including one villain per wave on the Super Powers. First we got Darkseid, then we got Deathstroke. It's nice to see Black Manta, as he is an iconic villain that was never done in the original Kenner line. Now we have Aquaman. And I have to say, I dislike the hybrid Aquaman design that they've been using so often. What I mean by hybrid design is, if you're going to do the classic orange and green costume, I'd rather see Aquaman with short hair and no beard. If you're going to go with the long hair bearded look, I'd rather see the more modern interpretation of Aquaman when he had the hook for the hands. But McFarlane has gone with this hybrid design, so that's what we've got. The hair is okay. It's short enough that it allows the head to turn. I'm not a big fan of the beard. I think the beard is very soft, and what I mean by that is it's not really defined by the sculpt, and the paint applications on it are using a very light yellow. So it doesn't really stand out. Kind of looks more like he's got a dirty face. But fortunately, he does have his trident accessory. As we know, McFarlane doesn't often include accessories with DC figures. Fans of the Batman 66 line know that well. And even in this series, Wonder Woman did not have her golden lasso in either release. But Aquaman does have the trident, so that's good. As announced at the recent San Diego Comic-Con, the Super Powers line for McFarlane will continue. Todd announced 7 new figures and 1 new vehicle for a future wave. But compared to this wave, I thought it was a bit underwhelming. The 7 figures were 2 more versions of Batman, a black costume Batman, as well as a Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman, A repaint of the first wave Superman, making him look more like the New 52 version. A recolor of this Robin figure, as well as a more Bronze Age version recolor of Nightwing. And 2 recolors of the Flash, one in a darker costume and one as the villain Reverse Flash, which will be the only villain in that wave. And the vehicle that was announced was the Whirly Bat, a portable mini Batcopter that Batman often used in the old comics. So compared to this wave, I think that was a little bit disappointing, seeing so many repaints. Again, only a single villain, which is also a repaint. And I didn't get that excited for the Whirly Bat. I understand Batman's popularity, but if they had created a Bat Cycle or a Bat Boat, I'd probably be in on them. But the Whirly Bat is something that I'd probably only pick up if I saw it on clearance. But that's for the future. We're talking about now. And right now, this is a really nice wave. We get hero characters with matching vehicles, along with another hero and archenemy combination. And this is definitely the best wave that McFarlane has done for superpowers so far. What do you guys think? Are you a fan of this line? Are you going to pick up any of these new releases? And what lengths will you go to get this exclusive Black Manta figure? Full disclosure, I bought this one from eBay. And the markup on them was not exorbitant, so I grabbed one, just to save myself the time and trouble of trying to hunt one down. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.